IB small business report this morning, which showed optimism hitting an all-time low. But this chart is specifically showing you price increases. So check out the blue line, which we've seen really the net percent of small businesses raising prices over the last 3 months peaking. It may have actually plateaued a little bit. You can see that this might be the lagged effect of fewer businesses saying for a few months that we've seen on this purple line that they planned on raising prices. Again, that's kind of plateaued over the last few months, but it's only just now that we're starting to see the actual price increases really start to level out. So again, not necessarily saying that we've peaked just yet, but interesting to see that perhaps that could be a positive sign of small businesses maybe hitting the demand destruction we've been talking so much about.
Yeah, though you could argue with small businesses, I mean, they're especially hit hard, right? They don't necessarily have the cushion that some of these bigger names do. It's not just about having to raise, prices because of the cost increases, but also workers.
Yeah, and you think a lot about what's the reason for why you'd have fewer small businesses net over net saying that they are no longer raising prices. Well, that's because maybe the prices that they raised to in the beginning months and the later months of 2021 were simply too high for customers to end up buying anymore. So because of the lower demand, they're not making margins because they're not selling anything. That's incentivizing fewer businesses to say that they're raising prices. So again, not necessarily a good thing for the margins of these small businesses, but you do wonder in the macro picture what that's going to mean for overall inflation going down. But of course, the concern that also comes along with that is how many small businesses will survive if we do end up going into a recession.
Well, I mean, that last point is certainly key. But yet another data point, right, to parse through on to see how whether we've reached the peak on inflation.